Thank you, Daddy Rick, for this book.
Uncle.
It means a lot to us. It's a good tradition for us to have. Thank you. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas tree.
Without Mr. Willoughby.
Mr. Willoughby's Christmas tree came by special delivery. Full and fresh and glistening green. The biggest tree we had ever seen.
Wait a minute, guys. This is big.
He dashed downstairs to open the door. This was the moment he'd waited for. A magnificent tree. Splendid, he cried.
I mean, go play.
Please, sir,
I don't like this.
Won't you carry it right inside? I think it might look best this year.
Listen, you gotta listen to it.
Right in the parlor corner here.
Watch and see what happens to this giant tree.
It's a big old tree. Come see. Have a seat.
Watch. It's
It's
a
a
story
big
about a big tree.
Okay? They're going to put it up in the corner. But once the tree stood in its place, Mr. Willoughby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling,
Uh-oh.
then bent like a bow. Oh, good heavens, he gasped. Something must go. The tree's too big for the house. So what are they going to do? Baxter, the butler, was called on in haste to chop off the top, though it seemed quite a waste. That's great, Mr. Willoughby cried with glee. Now we could start to trim my tree. When the trimming was well underway, the top was placed on a silver tray. Baxter said, I know just who would be delighted with this Christmas tree. So he was presented to Miss Adelaide, Mr. Willoughby's upstairs maid. Won't this be a pretty sight when I have trimmed it later tonight? But the top, oh dear, I'm so afraid, will have to be cut, sighed Miss Adelaide.
Sit down.
Looks like it was too big for her place too.
Emily.
And so with scissors sharp and long, she snipped off the top while she hummed a song. The top was set out the very next day and back of the house to be thrown away.
Why did she throw it away? I know.
She didn't have a need for it.
I know.
That little treetop caught the eye of Tim, the gardener, passing by. He certainly was not about to see that little tree thrown away. He hurried home straight away to see what Miss Tim would say. Fa la la, surprise, surprise. His wife could not believe her eyes. But our house, she said, is so snug and small, I don't believe we need it all. And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut off the top and threw it out.
Out of the big Christmas tree, it turned into the three different things.
Barnaby Bear was passing by. It almost hit him in the eye. Now, who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? I'll take it home. That's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I have a present for you. Isn't it a pretty tree? Yawned Barnaby, quite drowsily. But Little Bear, standing off bar, cried out, That tree won't hold a star. Barnaby said, Let's cut a hunk off the bottom here at the trunk. But Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the treetop off instead.
Right off the top.
Boop!
Instead of the bottom.
Jolly by golly, Barnaby said with a kick.
Whoa.
Bye.
Mama, that surely has got the right trick.
Mama.
Let's churn with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel, and popcorn on strings. Mama said, trim it just as you like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top we won't need anymore. I'll put it just outside the door.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye, top of the tree.
Bye, bye.
Later on that frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight.
The fox.
He spied the treetop, rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuffed that top in.
Boy, I need hope, Mommy.
He scampered home and jumped his gate. This Christmas present couldn't wait. "It's even better than mincemeat pie," said Miss Fox with a happy sigh. Then the foxes saw that their Christmas prize was just a wee bit oversized. Look at that.
Just a little bit.
There, my dears, don't you worry. I'll fix that top now in a hurry.
You snip it.
Yep. Benjamin Rabbit found it then, just outside the fox's den. It seems, he thought, most certainly, Santa left that for my family. "Look," he cried, "see the tree I found." And with all he called his family around. Then there was merrymaking, rollicking, frolicking, carrot shaking, celebration around the tree. All were as happy as rabbits can be.
Even the tiny rabbits have a little Christmas tree.
Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot and made a stand. Now let's see how this will look in our little chimney nook. But right away the children cried, "Look, it's leaning off to one side." "It's too small, that's all," said Miss Rabbit. And as though it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw away the top.
That's the top of the tree. Look how small it's gotten.
Then Mistletoe Mouse just happened to see that tiny tip of a Christmas tree. He pulled it through the snow and ice, up some stairs, and he fell down twice. At last he reached his cozy house. "That's just the right size," said Mrs. Mouse.
Oh, the mouse.
Then at the top, if you please, they put a star made out of cheese.
Cheese. They put a little cheese star.
Can I see the cheese? Where is it?
Cheese star.
Where's the cheese?
Lily hasn't seen it.
Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willoughby? And look at that, they're right there at the foot of Mr. Willoughby's tree. The end.